What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the promotion that I just got, and I wanted to talk far more about 401ks. We're gonna get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe. If you are new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive bonus content. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. Try out some G Fuel energy formula, $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your up to 12 free fractional shares by downloading Webull and funding your account. You can deposit as little as you'd like, even as little as a penny. It still works, it still counts. You still get your up to 12 free fractional shares. And every single month, they have a promo going on, which gets you even more free stocks, usually high quality stocks like Apple and whatnot, sometimes even free cash to invest however you want. I don't know what the July promo is going to be because I'm filming this video in June, but anyway, every single month there's a new promo going on. Webull link in the description. Everything is linked in the description. Okay, so let's get right into it. As always, my videos are not necessarily something to watch, but rather something to listen to. So treat it like a radio show, treat it like a podcast. My videos are not intended to take you away from what you are supposed to be doing. If you're driving to work, or if you are on the job, or if you're doing something productive, you can listen to this in the background and get a little bit of information or entertainment while you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I don't want to keep you sitting in a chair staring at a screen. So anyway, I'm filming this video June 21st. It's not coming out until, I believe, July 3rd, probably. That's just because my next, week and a half, it's just going to be so chaotic. I'm not going to have time to film video, so I'm filming a little bit some extra content in advance. All right, so let's get right into it. I want this video to be primarily about 401ks, and I want to talk about the difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA, which are two very similar but very different types of retirement accounts. But before I do that, I want to talk about this new promotion that I just got. I am filming this video on Wednesday, and I start the new job on Sunday. God, am I excited. And you want to know why I'm excited? It's because I got a 3-month free trial of this promotion. Here, it'll make more sense. I'll run through the story as quickly as possible. August of last year, I applied for a part-time position with this company, and it was just for it was for a part-time job in addition to what my full-time job already was. I was doing something else full-time, and I wanted, to have a part-time job with this company for two different reasons. Number one, I was going through stuff in my personal life, and I figured, you know what, to get my mind off things, get a change of pace, change of scenery, and give myself something productive to do, let me get a secondary job. And two, it would put a little bit extra cash in my pocket. This was August of last year. September is notorious for really poor stock market returns, so it'd keep a little bit extra cash in my pocket, so I have a little bit of extra cash to buy the dip. I was like, all right, it's a win-win. Well, very quickly, I was offered full-time, and I weighed out the pros and the cons. I took the money that I was making from my full-time job at the time, and I compared it to how much money I would be making at this other job if I were to do it full-time, and the conclusion that I came to was that if I keep the full-time job I already have, I'd be making more money. I'm currently making more time as a full-timer over here than if I were to take this full-time job, but all of the benefits that come along with it, you should factor that into your income, even though it's not take-home pay. But on top of that, at this new job, I get holiday pay, I get Sunday pay, I get vacations, I get paid time off, almost guaranteed overtime. if you factor all of that in, I'm actually taking home even more money, plus getting all the benefits and all that extra stuff. So I decided, yes, I weighed out the pros and the cons. I figured this was the right move, so I flip-flopped my jobs. I took my full-time job and I stepped down to part-time, and I took this new part-time job and I stepped up to full-time. Well, the job that I was working at, I knew that the building we were in, the lease was gonna be up, and that we were going to be transferred out, and I was under the impression that when we transfer, I would be kept close to home. I was told, oh, they're not going to send you far. They won't do that to you. Well, unfortunately, I ended up getting sent pretty far away, and it was to fill the shoes of a higher up manager. I didn't have that title. I didn't have that pay. I had the pay that I was making originally, but I was told this is just a temporary thing. This isn't your job, and you're not that higher level up manager. We just need you to fill the role for the time being. So that's what I did for 3 months. I drove far away to fill the shoes of a higher level up manager. And I wasn't getting paid anything extra to do it, but I saw it as a learning opportunity. I apologize for the wind over here. Let me just get around the corner. I saw it as a learning opportunity, and I took it. I said, I will do that. It wasn't ideal, and I was stepping into the unknown, getting sent far away to do something I've never done before, but let's try it out and see what happens. A lot of people say it's impossible. I like to say, let's find out. So I stepped into it. It's really hard to learn, but I very quickly started to like it. I ended up liking it even more than what my position was actually supposed to be. And I was told that it was just temporary. It wasn't supposed to be a permanent thing. Could be 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years for all I know, but I was acting as a higher level up manager. Then my job title, a position opened up right as I was in the middle of a negotiation to keep this temporary job as a permanent job. I had done such a fantastic job. I learned that the company I worked for was auditing me 6 times every single week, and I scored nothing less than 100%. Fantastic feedback, fantastic everything. And, you know, not to pat myself on the back, but I was doing an incredible job. And I'm not, you know, I say that in the most humble way possible. I learned very quickly, and I did a really good job. And everybody that I worked with loved having me there. But I was sent there temporarily until a position opened up, the position that I was supposed to have, because, you know, everybody got transferred out of the original spot. A position opened up for what I was supposed to be doing in the first place. Right in the middle of a negotiation to get myself the permanent spot, I got sent to do what I was doing originally 3 months ago. See, I was acting as this higher up manager for the last 3 months as a temp until a position opened up. I was under the impression that I was going to have to wait a year, maybe a year and a half for somebody to retire. But somebody ended up leaving the company, and it was the role that I was waiting for, and they saw me as that particular position waiting for an opening. They didn't realize that I was in mid-negotiation, so I got pulled out of there and placed in this other place. And I was open-minded to it. I was like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. This is what I was supposed to be doing all along anyway. Fine. And on my first day, I realized how much more I liked what I was doing temporarily. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let me see if I don't think there's ever such a thing as too late. They took me out of the position that the shoes that I was filling to put me where I was supposed to be all along, but they still don't have somebody for that higher up manager. they still didn't fill that spot. So that higher up manager position is still open. And it comes with a lot of responsibility, so there aren't like a lot of applicants. It's not like people are like raising their hand, being, I want it. It's tough. It's really tough. So I ended up calling back after my second day at this new spot, third spot in less than a year. August will be a year, so I've only been around with the company 10 months, and I'm already in my third spot. I called up, and I said, hey, things happen so quickly. I was only able to ask the first question. The first question I asked was what, like, the pay would be. And then all of a sudden, things happened so quick I got moved. I didn't get to ask my second question, which would have been, cost of benefits, because at this point I'd be paying out of pocket, and I just wanted to weigh out the money and make sure that the pay raise was at least enough to cover what I have to pay for out of pocket. I had some questions about what the retirement account would look like, the 401k, because it's a little bit different of a structure because I'd be leaving the union, and that's another question I had, what the process of stepping out of the union looks like and doing something more on the administrative level. I had a couple of questions, and I only got to ask the first one before things happened so quickly, and I got pulled out of there like in the blink of an eye. It just happened like overnight. All of a sudden I'm in a completely different place with a different position than what I was just filling in as for the last 3 months. So it's just, I've been feeling like a ping pong ball. But I called up and I got my questions answered. The cost of benefits is not nearly as high as I expected them to be. It does come with a pay raise, obviously, higher up position. I got the answers to my question regarding what leaving the union looks like, and I was emailed all the information, everything that I needed to know regarding the 401k and all of that. So I got all my questions answered, and there was actually somebody at the location that I just got sent to who wanted that position. And I told her, I was like, listen, I understand you wanted the position. I wanted you to have the position. I wanted to keep what I was doing before. I'm gonna pull some strings and see if I'm able to get us both what we want. So, 4 days away from when my promotion is supposed to start, 4 days away from where I go back to where I was as a temp, but this time as a permanent person. A lot can happen in 4 days, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of hesitant to even be making this video in the first place, because God, anything can happen in 4 days. But as of right now, that's what it looks like. As of right now, that's what's happening. As of right now, in 4 days from the time I am filming this video, that promotion should begin this upcoming Sunday, which by the time you're listening to this video, I already started several days ago, or maybe even a week ago, probably last Sunday from the time you're watching this video. So anyway, that's how that happened. I know it sounds really chaotic. I know it sounds like very, very, like, it sounds like a roller coaster. I understand that, and believe me, it feels like a roller coaster as well. But when the lease is up and people get shuffled around, that's just kind of what happens. But what happened, and from here on out, it should be a lot smoother. So moving away from that, the reason I wanted to use this as a story to lead us into the 401k talk is because that was one of my questions. I wanted to know, since I'm stepping out of the union, I know that there are a lot of financial incentives that come along with that. It comes with a pay raise, it comes with this, it comes with that, it comes with a different type of 401k. And here's the thing, my old position, the position that I'm leaving in 4 days, the deal is you're allowed to start making 401k contributions when you hit a year with the company. Whether you're full-time, part-time, doesn't matter. You're allowed to start making 401k contributions when you hit 1 year. And unfortunately, I mean, it's not a terrible thing, but there is no company match. It's still great to have a tax-advantaged retirement account that you can contribute to on a weekly basis. That's not a bad thing. It would be a fantastic thing to have that with a company match, but the bracket that I was in didn't come with a company match. So that was one of my questions. Now that I'm leaving the union, now I'm getting to the more administrative level, now that I'm getting a pay raise and have a lot more responsibility, does this type of 401k come with a company match? And the answer was yes, a 5% company match. So, the way I see it is for every contribution I make, assuming that let's just say I make a 5% contribution every single week, I'm essentially seeing a 100% return every week. Because let's just say, for the sake of simple math, let's just say 5% of my pre-taxed dollars is $50. So they take $50 out, put it into the 401k, and the company matches that 5%, which is $100 total now. 50 from me, 50 from them. That's 100% return. Now, I know the market is volatile, or can be volatile, but you're going to see an 8 to 10% average annual rate of return every single year. Some years are going to be better, some years are going to be worse, but it all averages out to be about 8 to 10%. 8% adjusted for inflation during normal inflationary times, which is more than enough to incentivize me to make contributions even without a company match. But now I will be getting a company match, which makes it 10 times better. So that's the reason I wanted to talk about this, because that was one of the biggest selling points to me. I woke up thinking, I was like, hey, wait a second, company match. Let me call up and ask, and if the answer is yes, then I'm going to really push to make this switch. I'm by the windy part of this trail again. But now that we talked about what was going on with me and what my 401k is going to look like, you know, and let me also say this really quick. The reason I have been anxiously awaiting the 1 year mark at my company so that I can start making 401k contributions, I knew that I wasn't going to be getting a company match, but I was still really looking forward to it anyway, because that would be a secondary retirement account. The other retirement account that I've been working on by myself for the last 2.5 years, I believe at this point, is a Roth IRA. Now, a Roth IRA, for those of you who don't know, or let me also just, quickly mention, you can actually set yourself up a Roth IRA on Webull, which is the stock trading app that I had mentioned before. If you download the app and fund your account, they're going to give you up to 12 free fractional shares just for doing so. And every month they have a promo going on, which gets you even more free stocks, or in some cases, free cash to invest however you want. So make sure to download Webull and fund your account and make the most of an opportunity. And if you do so, you also have the option of setting up a Roth IRA. Now, a Roth IRA is different. It's similar to a 401k, but it's also very different. So let me explain what a Roth IRA is and why that has been my preference over the last couple of years. And let me just explain. A Roth IRA is a way of investing dollars that have already been taxed. Post-tax dollars you invest in a Roth IRA, and you do this on your own. It's not through a company, it's your own thing. The same way you would invest money, or the same way you would transfer dollars to a savings account or a checking account. It's just something that you do on your computer or your phone or whatever. It's 100% on you. So you're investing post-tax dollars. And if you leave those dollars in there and continue adding more dollars, and you just let it build and build over time, you reinvest the dividends, you see the capital appreciation. When you become eligible for retirement, which is at age 59 and a half, you can withdraw every single penny completely tax-free. 100% tax-free. You might be wondering, why? Because this is a tax-advantaged account, and you already paid taxes on the dollars that you put in before you put them in. So you're investing post-tax dollars, and later on down the road, when you're able to withdraw them all, you can withdraw them early if you want, but it usually comes with a penalty. But if you wait until you're eligible to retire, 100% tax-free. A 401k, on the other hand, is the same thing but opposite. Instead of investing dollars that have already been taxed, you get your paycheck, that direct deposit hits, you already paid taxes before it even hit your bank account, and then you invest. No, a 401k, a percent of your choice gets taken out before the dollars are taxed, which is good, which means more money is going in, and it gets the ball rolling, and it defers taxes on those for later down the road. So let me explain it in simple terms. A Roth IRA, you're investing post-tax dollars so that later on down the road you can withdraw all of those capital gains and all of those dividends and everything that it built up tax-free. A 401k, you're investing pre-taxed dollars, and you pay taxes later on down the road. You don't have to withdraw everything at once. You can withdraw a little bit every year or all of it all at once. You can do whatever you want as long as you are old enough and eligible for retirement, 59 and a half. So you're making contributions that haven't been taxed yet, and you pay taxes later on down the road. Roth IRA, you're making contributions that have already been taxed, and you're completely tax-free later on down the road. They both have their pros and their cons, and a 401k is typically with a company that you work for. It's a retirement savings plan, but that's the difference between the two. A Roth IRA is something that you can do completely on your own. A 401k is typically something you do through or with an employer. I like this because now I am able to do both. And what's cool about making a 5% contribution, and maybe later on down the road I'll bump it up, but I do get a 5% match, and I want to make the most of that, so I'll be doing at least 5%. The cool thing about a 5% contribution is it's 5% of your pre-tax dollars. Like I said, it's before taxes are taken out of your paycheck. 5% comes first. 5% goes to your 401k before Uncle Sam even touches your money, which is pretty awesome. Because 5% of your pre-tax dollars is quite a bit more than 5% of your post-tax dollars. 5% of your gross pay versus 5% of your net pay. Gross pay is more because it is disgusting how much money you could have made before the government took their cut. That's why it's called gross pay. But it's 5% of your gross pay. And I'll be getting paid, I get paid on a weekly basis. Most people get paid, every 2 weeks or whatever. For whatever reason, I get paid every week, whatever. Doesn't matter, same thing. Same thing, different frequency. So 5% of my pre-tax dollars will be going in to this 401k. And the 401k that I have can be rolled over with a new company. So let's just say I don't stick with this company for 30 years and retire with this company. I switch on over to a different company. This 401k can be rolled over into a new company that if the new company also offers a 401k. So I can take it with me. That's not an issue. Ideally, I'd like to stay with this company for the next, 30 years or whatever, but who knows? 30 years is a long time. A lot can happen in 30 years. But I would like to stay with this company. And if I invest 5% of my pre-tax dollars, the company will match that 5% of my pre-taxed dollars. And it gets funneled into an account, a retirement savings plan, that will also be seeing about an 8% average annual rate of return. Average annual rate of return. Can't talk out here. About 8%, adjusted for inflation, with dividends reinvested, and I will not pay anything in taxes until later on down the road. And at that point, I will be taxed at a much lower rate than I was taxed at by working my 40 plus hours a week, if that makes sense. So coming around full circle, the 401k is typically done through an employer. Now, the job that I was working before, my old full-time job, did not offer a 401k. They didn't offer a lot of things. They offered, a little bit more take-home pay, but they didn't offer any vacation time, didn't offer overtime, didn't offer Sunday pay, holiday pay, vacation pay. They like none of that. No benefits, nothing. Just a little bit more take-home pay. So I had to choose. Well, I didn't have to. I wanted to, set myself up a tax advantage retirement account, and I had two options to pick from: a Roth IRA, which I explained before, or a solo 401k, which is similar to the 401k that we just talked about, but it doesn't have an employer attached to it. And I weighed out the pros and the cons. I was like, do I want to invest dollars that have already been taxed and cash out later on tax-free, or do I want to invest post or pre-tax dollars and pay tax and just defer paying taxes until later? And it just, for me personally, I thought a Roth IRA made more sense, so I chose a Roth IRA, and that's what I've been working on for the last 2.5 years. But now I have the ability to make 401k contributions through a retirement savings account with the company that I work for, and I get a 5% match starting Sunday. That's what it looks like starting Sunday. So that's what I'm going to be doing in addition to my Roth IRA. I will still be making weekly contributions to my Roth IRA. My goal is still to max out my Roth IRA this year and max it out every year in the future. That's the plan, that's the goal, that's what I hope to do. And have something separate on the side. It's my own personal retirement account alongside my company's retirement savings account. And no, for the record, this retirement savings account, this 401k with my company, is not going to be funneling dollars into this particular company's stock. No, it's broad market index funds, which is right up my alley. That is what my Roth IRA is made up of. I customized my Roth IRA exactly how I wanted to, and it's been exactly the same since day one. I knew exactly what I wanted the structure to be, and I organized it in a way that makes perfect sense. It's a 40-40-10-10 split between 4 completely different broad market index funds. And if you are in the VIP club, which is what my Patreon page is called, you know exactly how my Roth IRA is structured. You know how I take, for every $100 I put in there, $40 go into this, $40 go into that, $10 go into this, and $10 go into that. That's how my Roth IRA is set up, and I plan on keeping it that way. I can rebalance it at any time if I ever felt like it, but it's as diverse as humanly possible, and I could have gone 25, 25, 25, 25, but the reason I'm only going 10%, 10% in the 2 other funds is because I don't want too much exposure, but I want some. I don't want to have it overly concentrated in those areas, but I want my piece of the pie, if that makes sense. So that's how I structured it. 40-40-10-10 split between 4 different broad market index funds. I have some international exposure. I have some bond market exposure. I have exposure to everything, and that's what I wanted. and it's structured the way that I wanted to. I customized it exactly how I wanted it to look. And I plan on keeping it that way. And in order to max out a Roth IRA, which, like I said before, you can create a Roth IRA right there on Webull if you want to, link in the description. But to max out a Roth IRA, right now, the maximum contribution limit is $6,500, which could be a downside to some people. A lot of people, like, wish that they can contribute more. They're like, oh, that's such a low cap. I think it's pretty good, especially if you can afford to build it up over the next, 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 years. If you have the time to do it, I think $6,500 is more than okay. More would obviously be great, but hey, it is what it is. They raised it from last year. Last year was $6,000. This year it's $6,500. I don't know if they're going to raise it again next year or if it's going to take another couple of years, but usually every handful of years they bump it up a little bit more. But to max out your Roth IRA with a maximum contribution limit of $6,500, on January 1st you could just throw $6,500 in there if you had the currency to do it, or you can make monthly contributions, or you can make $125 weekly contributions. However you want. Or you don't have to max it out at all. You could put $100 in a month if that's what you wanted to do. And by the time a year goes by, that's $1,200. That's nowhere near maxing it out, but something's better than nothing. So you can max it out if you'd like. You can just contribute a small amount if you would like. It's whatever you want. That's what's cool about a Roth IRA. It's just like all the flexibility and just doing things however you want to do things. Rebalancing, restructuring, if that's what you choose to do. You don't have to go with index funds. You can go with individual stocks, although I don't think that's the greatest move. But either way, that's what a Roth IRA is. A 401k, you might have less options. The way I understand it, the typical 401k focuses on a variety of different type of index funds that you could choose from, and I think it's mostly just one big giant index fund rather than 4 different index funds the way I broke it up, 40-40-10-10 split, or 10 different index funds, all 10%. Rather than doing it that way, can't breathe out here. Rather than doing it that way, a 401k focuses on, one broad market index fund, which is really all you need. I just wanted to be creative with my Roth IRA. That's why I did it the way that I did it. But a 401k, money gets funneled into a broad market index fund. A certain percentage of your pre-tax dollars, and I believe you can contribute up to 75% of your pre-tax dollars, but who on God's green earth gets paid enough to do that? Maybe if you're married and your spouse is making enough money for you to be able to live on 25% of your income, and they make enough to cover the rest, so you're able to contribute 75% of your pre-tax. I don't know, whatever. But you can, up to 75%. No way in the world I'm doing that, but I'll start off with 5% because I get that match. 5% match. Maybe later on down the road, I will bump it up to closer to 10% if I feel as though it's affordable for me to do. But at the very least, you should make the most of whatever your company offers to match. It might be 4%, it might be 6%, or whatever they offer to match. I think that's at the very least what you should do. Just my opinion. That's the difference between a Roth IRA and a 401k. Roth IRA is, 100% on your own, customized the way that you want. A 401k, you have options to pick from. You can go with this index fund or that index fund or this type of fund or that type of fund, and there's less of a selection, but it's still all broad market index funds, and you just have to talk to whoever it is at your company and figure out the best choice, what makes the most sense for you, your risk tolerance, and how aggressive you want to be. And there's just so many different factors that play a role in what the perfect fund is for your particular retirement savings account, which, by the way, you can change at any time. You can go with this particular one that's a little bit more aggressive. 5-10 years from now, you can switch on over to one that's a little bit more conservative. Like you can go so many different ways. You have the flexibility, you have choices. You can increase or decrease your contributions at any time. And if the company's offering to match whatever percent, I think at the bare minimum, you should be contributing that percent. If they offer to match 2%, you should be contributing at least 2%. So I'll be starting with 5% because that's what the match is. Later on down the road, if I find that it's doable to contribute 10%, then that's just what I'm going to do. I'll be contributing 10% of my pre-tax dollars, and the company will be matching 5%. So like I said before, hypothetically, let's just say, for the sake of simple math, $100 is 10% of your pre-taxed dollars. And if that's what I'm contributing every week, for every $100 I contribute, the company's going to be contributing $50. I'll let that snowball over time. And at that point, I'll be building myself a nice little nest egg, because I've been doing things a variety of different ways. Not only am I going to be starting my 401k like within the next 2 pay periods, not only have I been building myself up a Roth IRA for the last 2, maybe 2.5 years at this point, but I also have a different type of account. This one is not exactly a tax-advantaged retirement account, although you could make the case that in a weird way it kind of is tax-advantaged, because I'm taxed at a lower rate, and I will continue to be taxed at a lower rate than the money that I earn by going to work every day. And that would just be my regular investing account. Now I have 2 different investing accounts. They're pretty much the same thing on 2 different apps. I started with one app, and then I downloaded Webull later on, and Webull's my stock trading app of choice. I don't trade stocks. I don't buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. All I do is buy. And like I said before, if you download the app and fund your account, they're going to give you up to 12 free fractional shares just for doing so. Even if you deposit as little as a penny, you still get your up to 12 free fractional shares. And every single month they have a promo that goes on where if you refer a friend, they'll give you some Apple stock, or 3 friends, they'll give you some of this stock, or if you refer however many friends, they're going to give you cash to invest how you want to invest it into whatever stocks or index funds you want to invest in. Webull has something awesome going on every single month. I'm filming this in June, so I don't know what the July promo is going to be, but it's always something cool. So download Webull, fund your account, and they're going to give you up to 12 free fractional shares just for doing so, and they have the July promo going on. So on Webull, that's where I have one of my investing portfolios. I have another one on a different app. Webull is just my preference at this point. I just like it better. I like the layout. It was a little bit more complex at the beginning, but then once you get the hang of it, it's actually you really like the layout of the app and stuff like that. But maybe it wasn't more complex. It was just different from the one that I was originally using. Maybe it's not more complex. Maybe it was just simply different. I had to get used to it. Whatever. So those accounts, regular investing accounts, they're not necessarily tax advantaged, because if you sell at a gain during the year, you're going to owe taxes, capital gains taxes, whether it be short-term or long-term capital gains, whatever. And also the passive income that you generate, whether it be dividend income or distribution income or interest income. If they offer you interest on your uninvested cash or whatever, you're gonna owe, it's a 1099 MISC form or a 1099 div form for dividends. So you're gonna owe money on that. But the way I like to always explain it, because a lot of people are discouraged, like, oh, I gotta pay taxes on my passive income. This sucks. I don't want to build up passive income for myself. Well, you know what? You should. And you want to know why? Because passive income is taxed at a lower rate than active income is. If you're making $50,000 a year at your job, you're going to be paying more in taxes than the guy next door who doesn't even have a job at all, but he makes $50,000 a year versus worth of passive income. Whether it's dividend income or whatever, you're taxed at a lower rate. The tax code was written by business owners, landlords, and investors, and the tax code was written for business owners, landlords, and investors. You're allowed to do it. You're encouraged to do it. Most people just don't know that there is a way to do it. And you can start small. You can do what I'm doing. Do you really, truly, honestly believe that I make a tremendous amount of money? No, I absolutely do not. In my opinion, I actually don't even make very much at all. But you don't need to be making tremendous amounts of currency. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need to be earning $100,000 to build something up for yourself and increase your income through passive income and beef up your net worth with capital gains over time. And what I like about the way I'm doing things is I have a savings account, which I don't really believe in saving currency long term, but I'm just kind of riding the high yield wave right now. So I have a savings account with a high yield. I have a CD account with an even higher yield. I have my regular investment portfolio, which is not tax advantaged, although you could make the case that it kind of is, because I'm paying less in taxes on that than I am on the money that I make from my job, because passive income is taxed at a lower rate than active income. And I have that investment portfolio split between two different apps, which doesn't really matter. I'm just mentioning that just because I've used two different apps over the years. I have a Roth IRA, a tax-advantaged retirement account. I will soon have a 401k, which is another form of a tax-advantaged retirement account. And I'm just trying to make the most of absolutely everything, and I'm trying to be as smart with my currency as possible and put it in the right places so that I could make as much off of my currency as I possibly can. And my priority is to obviously increase my income, but my even bigger priority is to set myself up for retirement, because I don't want to be forced to work in my, 70s and 80s. I don't want to be struggling when I'm older. I want to be all right, and I want my family to be taken care of. So it is a priority of mine. It's funny, the older you get, so much stuff changes. Like, you just have different, I'm by that windy part again. There's people over here. I don't want to get somebody on camera if they don't want to be. But point being is that I've learned a lot in the last year. Too windy, hang on. I've learned a lot in the last year, and I feel like in the last year I've aged several years. Not physically, it just like mentally, I guess. Like I've learned so much in the last year. My eyes have been open to so many different things, and I just discovered so many different ways, and I didn't even know that I had so many paths to choose from. Like, I didn't even know that like certain things were even possible a year ago. Like I had no idea. And here I was this whole time thinking like Like, yeah, I've been running like a finance channel for the last, 5.5 years, but like, it just goes to show you that like you never know everything. There's always something to learn. There's always something new to discover. There's always something different you can try out. You can experiment different ways and figure out what works, what doesn't. You can talk about your experiences with this type of account or this form of an investment. So many different ways you can go. And over the year, I just learned so much this past year, the past 10 months really. And it's just funny. The older you get, how your goals change and whatnot. I used to be so against certain things, and now I'm more family oriented and focused on building something up beyond just for myself. So it's just interesting how things work. But anyway, coming around full circle, that's how I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing what I'm. Hey, speaking of family, here's some baby deer. Hope their dad has a 401k set up. Nice, rock solid job, and investing for some passive income on the side, because those little baby deer, they're gonna reap the rewards of that later on. So yeah, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's how I'm doing what I'm doing. That's kind of a rough idea of what this new promotion looks like and what it has to offer. And funny enough, I was actually talking to my boss prior to getting moved out of that temporary position, which I now will be moving back to do permanently. But before I stepped out, I was talking to him about it, and I was just explaining to him, and maybe this isn't the greatest thing you should say to a boss, but I told him, I really like what I'm doing. I really like this company, but I'm not like necessarily loyal to any particular company. I'm loyal to my goals, and my plan is to reach my goals, and it doesn't really matter to me what company or vehicle I use to get there. And he said, you'd be a great fit at the company my wife is a manager at. It's not a competitor, but it's a rock solid company. And I remember saying to him, I was like, it's funny you bring that up, or what a coincidence, because I've been telling a family member of mine that he should work for that company. I was like, dude, I told him, I was like, it's such a good company. It's a competitor to the company he works for. And I told him, I was like, you should move to that company. It's such a good company. They're like, that company is like so like pro worker. They're pro America. They're pro family. Like, it's such a good company, and they're still privately owned. They have an employee stock ownership plan, a 401k with a match, even for the part-timers. I told him, I was like, you gotta move to that company. You gotta switch over there. And I told him that years ago. And now my boss at the company that I currently work for tells me that I'd be a great fit at that company. I was like, it's funny you bring that up, because I'm a big fan of that company. So moving forward, once I move back to what the temporary job was, and this time around I'll be a permanent version of the same exact thing. I already did it for 3 months. I know what I'm doing, and I really, really enjoy it, and I'm good at it. Now that I'll be moving back to that temporary role, this time as a full-timer, or I'm sorry, not a full-timer, this time as a permanent person, yes, full-time, but this time permanently. Once I get myself situated, once I get the 401k rocking and rolling, I'm actually thinking about applying for a part-time job at that other company. Because as long as you're a part-timer, clocking in 1,000 hours a year, you are eligible for the 401k with that company. Even as a part-timer, you're eligible for a company match, and you're eligible for the ESOP, the employee stock ownership plan. So I was thinking, what if I drop my current part-time job, which used to be my full-time job, that I stepped down to part-time for the company that I'm currently working for as a full-timer? What if I drop my current part-time job and just do that as a part-time job? Way more that comes along with it. You get benefits even as a part-timer. You get 401k eligibility, company match eligibility, stock in the privately owned company eligibility, and you get to represent a company that's super pro-worker. It's one of those companies that even the people that work there don't complain about their job all day. No, don't get me wrong, everybody complains about their job. Everybody has a hard day of work. I get it, I know. You could work for the best company in the world and still have your complaints. I know, I understand that. But this is a company that like has a proven track record of making sure that their workers are taken care of. So I kind of want my piece of the pie there. So can you imagine? I was talking to my boss about this. He told me, he was like, if you ever want to make the switch, or if you want a part-time job working there, let me know. You have a connection now. And I was like, that's unbelievable how the storyline is just, you can't make this stuff up, in my opinion. Like, this is just, the storyline is unbelievable here. I like the way things are going. I love the way things are going. It's working out very, very well. I'm only 10 months deep in this company. I'm not deep rooted at all, but it's going really good. So just imagine if I end up managing to pull that off as well. Imagine working at the company that I'm currently working at. I start my new promotion on Sunday with a pay raise, 401k with a company match, and I do that as a full-timer. I end up with this other part-time job that offers me a 401k with a company match, even as a part-timer. On a yearly basis, little by little, I start racking up stock in this privately owned company. I get benefits from both companies, 2 completely different tax advantage retirement accounts with my own personal tax advantage retirement account, my Roth IRA. I'll have 3 different retirement accounts being built up simultaneously with my regular taxed stock portfolio and everything that I'm working on. See, this, people think I'm like crazy for, you know, doing half the stuff that I do, or saying stuff like, I've shared my idea with certain people, or shared my ideas with certain people, and you know, some people are like, that doesn't sound even remotely possible, and maybe it's not, but I don't like to say it's impossible. I like to say, let's find out. Let's find out if it's impossible. Let's find out if it's doable. Let's find out if I fall on my face and fail completely or entirely. It's like, yeah, I'm willing to take a risk. I'm willing to give it a shot. And I have that can-do attitude, I guess you can say, and I'm willing to put the work in, and I'm willing to break my back now, so that hopefully later in life my entire world will be much, 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 much easier. So I don't know. Things are going very, very well, and I'm not sharing anything that I'm sharing in this video as a way of bragging, or as a way of saying anything like that, or patting myself on the back, or anything. That's not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video, number one, to educate people on the difference between a Roth IRA and a 401k, and encourage people to take advantage of the company match if their company offers one, and to build themselves up a nest egg, whether it's with the company or if you're doing it on your own with a Roth IRA, or however, whatever makes the most sense to you, and just encourage people that there's always a way. There are so many different paths you can take. There are paths you can take that you don't even know exist yet. It's unbelievable. All you have to do is step outside of your comfort zone and try something different. If you try something different, being like, all right, let me take that path and see what happens. If you take that path, you're gonna learn about 10 different paths. Every different path you take opens up like 15 more doors. It's insane. There are so many different avenues. There are so many different ways you can go. There are so many different methods, so many different techniques and strategies, and you know, with a little bit of creativity and some trial and error and experimenting and weighing out the pros and the cons and seeing what works and what doesn't, trying them out for yourself and seeing what works and what doesn't for you personally, you can end up creating something for yourself and your family that you didn't even realize was possible 6 weeks ago. That's all my video is. It's just to educate people on the difference between a Roth IRA and a 401k. It's to encourage people to build something up. It's to teach people that there is, in fact, a way. It's to motivate people to start working hard if maybe you feel like you've been slacking, or maybe you're already working hard. Maybe this could, you know, encourage you to work even harder and get creative and try something new and build something up for yourself. It's possible. It's definitely possible. People like to say that it's impossible. I like to say let's find out. So I want you guys to head on down in the comments and let me know anything and everything related to a retirement account. What are you doing for your retirement? Maybe you're stacking up a whole bunch of silver and gold for your retirement. Maybe you're investing for a retirement, but you're not using a tax-advantaged account. Maybe you're just doing a regular stock portfolio. Maybe you're building yourself a real estate portfolio. Like maybe you're buying land. Maybe you own a rental property or two. Maybe that's your primary method for when it comes to a retirement account, or something to build up so you could sell later on for your retirement, or a business or whatever. Maybe it's a Roth IRA that you're doing on your own. Maybe it's a 401k that you're doing with your company. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. If you like today's video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. I post new videos all of the time. Subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive bonus content. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, and a bunch of different designs, many of which are helping raise funds and awareness for different charity organizations. Try out some G Fuel energy formula. $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. There are more than 50 different flavors to choose from. This one is Miami Nights, which is pina colada flavored. It's my favorite flavor that I've ever tried. Absolutely delicious. Perfect for the summer. Recommend it. Sugar-free, low-calorie, packed with a whole bunch of vitamins, and like I said, $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your up to 12 free fractional shares by downloading Webull and funding your account. Even if you deposit as little as a penny, it still works, it still counts, you still get your up to 12 free fractional shares. And every month they have a new promo going on. I don't know what this month's promo is because I'm filming it the month before, but every month they have something awesome going on where if you refer a friend or two or three, they give you free stocks of, you know, higher quality, you know, massive corporation stocks. It's awesome. They always have something. Sometimes it's even cash to invest however you'd like. Webull link in the description. Everything is linked in the description. And remember, if you want to set up a Roth IRA for yourself, you can do so right there on the Webull app. So that's another awesome thing that Webull has going for it. Everything is linked in the description. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know one more time, what are your thoughts on everything shared in today's video? I talked about my promotion and what's coming with the promotion, not to brag or to share a bunch of my own personal, like, you know, what's going on in my world and stuff like that, but more so to lead into the talk about Roth IRAs and 401ks and explaining the difference between the two, talking about, you know, which one's better in certain areas, which one's not as good in certain areas, and how and why I'm now going to be utilizing both. But some make sense, some make more sense for some certain people, the other one makes, you know, more sense for other types of people. You just got to figure out which one makes the most sense for you, and if you have the ability to, at the very least, make contributions to both, I think that's an even better decision. And if you're able to max out your Roth IRA and get and capitalize on at least the company match that your job has to offer. If they offer a match, then it's just like a win-win-win-win-win. But I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you're doing for, or what you're building up for yourself, or maybe you're already retired. What did you build up for yourself for your retirement? Was it real estate? Was it a business? Was it a Roth IRA, a 401k? Was it a regular stock portfolio? Was it some form of passive income? Maybe you bought land. Maybe you just let me know in the comments anything and everything related to today's video topic, anything and everything related to building something up for yourself, for your retirement, and for your family. Head on down in the comments and let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.